Grandpappy, Grandpappy!
Yes, descendant?
Tell me a story.
Absolutely.
Yay, Grandpappy.
I can tell you about the first time I solved a partial fraction decomposition problem.
Not again, Grandpappy. Tell me about crime fighting.
Ah, yes. I did much crime fighting as Absolute Value Man!
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared is 4ac all over 2a.
Absolute Value Man! I'll tell you a story about my origin. Back in the day, I was known as Circumference. I worked in the Royal Circle Factory, where we made circles for all the royal citizens of Math City.
How do you make a circle, Grandpappy?
2 pi r is circumference, that's me. Pi r squared is area.
Wow, Grandpappy, you're so smart.
Back to the story. So this perpendicular day, I was working on circles as usual, when all of a sudden, the alarms blared.
Ah, Grandpappy!
Math citizens were scared, as was I. As for me, I felt no fear.
Wow, Grandpappy, you're brave.
No, just rational. Anyway, with all the chaos, I thought I could take the day off. I tried to sneak out, but I heard a voice calling to me.
Circumference, call the ruler.
Who's the ruler, Grandpappy?
The ruler was the one who ruled over Math City. He was like royalty to the Math citizens, and he took all measures to keep the citizens safe.
Sounds like a monarchy, Grandpappy.
I picked up the phone and dialed. The ruler did not answer. He must have been very busy doing something integral to our Math society. I took matters into my own hands. I stepped out of the factory to see what was driving our citizens crazy.
What was the problem, Grandpappy?
Nothing that I couldn't solve. It appeared that negative numbers were invading Math City, infecting citizens with their negative attitudes.
Oh no, Grandpappy! What did you do, Grandpappy?
I intercepted the negative numbers and saved the day.
How did you do that, Grandpappy?
Well, at first I thought it would be easy. I didn't know the numbers would be so irrational. Then I realized that the numbers were very irrational.
That's mean, Grandpappy.
It's pretty average behavior for negative numbers.
Wow, Grandpappy.
Yes, obviously I was unable to use my diplomatic abilities in this situation.
Grandpappy, did you solve the problem all by yourself, Grandpappy?
Not exactly. I didn't really know what was going on, so I climbed a factor tree.
You mean the factory, Grandpappy?
Not at all. I climbed a literal factor tree to get a better view of the city. I gazed upon Math City in all its glory. There was the St. Louis Parabola, glowing in all its concave beauty, the Grand Eiffel Tower, gleaming in the sunlight, the Arc de Triomphe, representing the victorious Circle War, the Seine River, winding through the busy city blocks, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology campus, looking nice, Times Square with its 4 right angles, Big Ben, one of the 7 wonders of the world, its shadow looming over and devouring everything in sight. And finally, My eyes rested upon the 15 chapel with the beautiful parentheses statue sculpted by Michelangelo standing outside.
What a beautiful city, Grandpappy.
Anyway, that's when I noticed the problem.
What was the problem, Grandpappy?
Well, two numbers, -1 and pi, were trapped in the parentheses. They were foiled again and again. The product was mayhem, or technically negative pi.
Wow, Grandpappy!
The negative pi's were running loose and attacking the math citizens.
That's crazy, Grandpappy!
I realized that. That's when I realized that this wasn't a one-man job. Conveniently, I heard a voice above me.
Radical, isn't it?
What?
Was it the tree, Grandpappy?
No, little Susie. Trees do not talk.
But Grandpappy, Treebeard from the Forest of Fangorn in the 2002 film adaptation of J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers does.
My bark is worse than my bite.
I think I know what I'm talking about, Susie.
Oh, Grandpappy.
As I was saying, it turned out that the voice was a peaceful math citizen trapped in the tree.
Radical.
Wow, Grandpappy, that sounds a lot like what a follower of the 1960s movement of people with unconventional appearance, typically having long hair and...
Do you want to hear the story or not, Susie?
Grandpappy, I love your stories.
Okay, now listen. I offered to help this fellow from the tree, if only he could help me with my crime-stopping spree.
Sounds radical.
I'm glad you found a friend, Grandpappy.
If that's what you'd like to think. Anyway, he became my sidekick from that point forward.
Radical.
Wow, Grandpappy!
Yes. So once I got him down from the tree, I was ready to move on to my next heroic act, saving the city.
Radic, can't we take the bus?
No, running is more heroic.
That's true. Running is also a great form of cardiovascular exercise that requires little to no equipment, making it great for the modern...
So we ran past the St. Louis Parabola, past the Eiffel Tower, past the Arc de Triomphe, past the Seine River, past the Pyramids of Giza, past the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, past Times Square, past Big Ben, and finally, we arrived at the 15 Chapel.
Wow, Grandpappy!
The amount of negative pies had exponentially increased. They were attacking math citizens and spreading their negative attitudes.
Rad not cool.
Anyway, we tried to figure out how we could get the negative numbers to quit multiplying.
We need to get to the square root of the problem.
How did you save the day, Grandpappy?
It's actually a funny story. I was just asking Radical Man what we should do when he said,
Let's go get some food, man.
I thought that was a preposterous idea because of all the death and destruction in our general area. Plus, the suffering of the masked citizens.
Wouldn't you want to subtract the suffering, Grandpappy?
No, little Susie. It's just a figure of speech I learned in Language Arts Alley.
Why do you want the citizens to suffer, Grandpappy?
Shut up, little Susie. Radical Man was being inconsiderate, so I delivered him a quick shove.
That hurts, man.
Radical Man shoved me back, sending me flying into Michelangelo's parentheses statue.
Violence is never the answer, Grandpappy!
This time it was. My body hit the parentheses statue, causing it to straighten into two straight lines.
Absolute value lines!
The day was saved! The absolute value brackets turned the numbers from negative to positive. The numbers quit attacking and the city was safe. All because of me!
Radical.
Wow, Grandpappy!
And that's how I became absolute value man.
That was a great story, Grandpappy!
Absolutely.